Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. This is FHM 12. Your Colorado Avalanche going into season 4. I'll say into season 5. Seasons 1 and 4 did not win the cup. Got to the final in 5. Got bounced in the first round by Utah in, I was going to say 5, but I think it was a sweep actually, in year 1. And we won the cup in the 2 years in between. Um, I hate these pop. Oh, as much as I love this game, it's slow. These pop-ups don't work. Searches don't retain, like your choices in tables don't retain, going back and forth between pages. Like, it's just so much tiny things that if they cleaned up would make the game so much more playable. And because it'd be playable, it'd be so much more accessible to new players. I really wish they would be able to do that. I don't know what they got going on, but yeah. Yeah, those two, 26, 27, 27, 28. Yeah, it's been a good save. In real life, I've been trying to upload this series for a week and a half. It hasn't worked out that way. There's been a lot of encoding issues. I had to re-encode a bunch of videos. I've got a lot sitting up that if I make them go live, I instantly get copyright claimed. So I'm holding off any other uploads. So by the time you see this, that hopefully will have been changed. But just know that throughout May and into April, there haven't been much, if any, uploads because something weird's going on. I don't know why or who, but yeah, it is what it is. So hopefully I'll have all these ready to go. Right now we're mid-May. It is, the day after Colorado just won Game 5 against the Minnesota Wild to close out round 2, awaiting the winner of Vegas and Anaheim. I think Vegas is up 3-2 in that series. That'll be a battle. I'm really hoping for 7 so we can rest up a little bit. We went to war with the Kings, played their style of hockey and swept them. Even though their fans thought that they had a shot, just pure offense versus pure defense, we showed that we could play any style of hockey and succeed, and I love that. And then Minnesota, they thought they had everything we had. We've got McCarr, but they've got Quinn Hughes. We've got Natchez, and they've got Boldy, and we've got McKinnon, they've got Kaprizov, and we had a great season at Wedgwood, but they've got the Wallace in ball. I'm sorry to tell you, but I preferred our options top to bottom. Oh, Faber as well, Foligno and Eriksson Ek, and all the rest I heard about how deep Wild were. I'd choose our goalie over yours this season. I would choose our defenseman, our center core, our top line, our top 6, our bottom 6, our depth, our defenseman, top to bottom, coach. Like, I would take everything we have over what the Wild have. Now, the Wild are a great team. Possibly, for me, I always put them in top 5 all season. They fluctuated between 2 and 5. They ended up, I think, number 3 for me in the league. I don't overlook Carolina. I have Carolina as my number 2, and I've always said that would be my likely Stanley Cup finals. Colorado, Carolina, the Disaster Brothers, going head to head in the Rantanen Bowl that features no Rantanen. Yeah, we both won our Rantanen trades respectively. We won the one with them, but they won the one with Dallas, and Dallas is very happy with Mikko Rantanen. So I think all 3 teams kind of win, but us and Carolina probably the happiest 2 um, in general. So yeah, the fact that we're both going probably head to head in the Stanley Cup will be wonderful. But the Wild feel like stars to me a couple of years ago, where they felt like they were a year away and maybe a player away, and Dallas couldn't get over that line. And the reason it felt that is because I saw them a lot. 10 years living in Dallas. My wife's family are all big Dallas Stars fans, season ticket holders. My brother became a Dallas Stars fan when he went over there. My wife's a Stars fan. Sucks, I know. Ugh. But I got a lot of respect for some of their players and the way they do things. Got a lot of hate for some of their players too, which I think is semi-justified. Um, but very similar to them are the Wild, and the way they kind of play, and it does feel like they are maybe a year away and a player away. Need to re-sign Quinn Hughes. Need a bit more depth, probably another good center and winger. Really bolster that middle six a little more. And then they're probably ready to make a run. Problem is, you've probably got one of, if not the best Avs team of all time, which is, it feels so wrong to say when you're comparing to Patrick Roy in net. Hold on. We got Foot, and for me, Rob Blake, and as a defenseman, Hayjuk, Forsberg, Sakic. Like that for years throughout my whole hockey identity has been the Avalanche six. That is the best of the best, all playing together. The Avalanche six, and you can dispute that with different players in different eras and whatnot. That to me was almost untouchable, right? Milan Hayjuk was just a pure out goal scorer. Foot was this bruising defenseman. Blake was the offensive defenseman with class and a great shot. Forsberg was the workhorse, just, best player in the league, and the brains and heart of the team were Joe Sakic, with Patrick Roy being the best goalie ever to play the game at that point. You can then argue, or I would argue, even myself then, with Dominic Hasek coming through. Less time that he showcased, but his peak was just phenomenal. And then Marty Brodeur, I think, ends up breaking some of Roy's records, and yeah, you can have a real fight over that one. But at worst, I think Roy's number 3. So it's very tough to get close to that. And then this season, Scott Wedgwood, I mean, what a season, and what an impact in Game 5. Taves is very underrated. Him and McCarr versus Foot and Rob Blake. Such a tough choice for me. I mean, I'll take McCarr over Blake. Foot was so defensive. Taves is two-way. Not as aggressive, but he's probably just as good defensively as he is going forward. I might shade Devon Taves there, but it's so tough. And then you've got the choice of Gabe Landeskog and Peter Forsberg, the two Swedes on the left. I don't know if I can make that choice with my heart. With my head, I'm giving it a Pete. But that's too damn close. On the right, you got the goal-scoring god from Czechia, Milan Hayjuk. Boy, he was my favorite player. He was my favorite player. So, yeah, but now we got Party Marty Natures. Like, becoming a little tougher. You got to give it a Hayjuk at this point, but like, peaks. It's interesting. And then how do you ever replace a Joe Sakic? How do you ever do that? Well, McKinnon is kind of getting close, right? So I do feel like we're so close to replicating, or sacrilegiously saying it, but surpassing that team. I think that's a very interesting period to be in for the Avs, and a number of teams around the league are in this same time, right? They've all got these kind of key players that they're trying to replace, and we're dealing with that in Game 2. But I don't think there's a team that is as well constructed as the Avalanche in the real world right now, I don't really think we lose a best of 7 against anyone. It does feel different. We go down to 4 defensemen, one of which is skating injured, and they beat the Wild, who I have as my number 3 team in the league behind Colorado and Carolina, just ahead of Dallas in 4. And you're going to flip a coin for 5 because there's so many great shots at that point. But like, those were my definitive top 4. And we lost some key players. And we win in 5 against the Wild. Just feels different. Brett Burns, Brett Kulak, Scott Wedgwood. Getting those 3 a ring would be magical. Not quite at Ray Bork level, but reminiscent of Cogliano type stuff, getting him one, Eric Johnson getting the Condor ring. Like, that's what is special to me. Not how good these teams were, or how I felt about it, or anything like that. Like, Landeskog's come back after injury, and seeing Bork lift one, even though I didn't know about him until he joined the Avs. I wasn't a fan of hockey before that for too long. I knew the name, I didn't really know him as such, but learning his story and just getting that appreciation and finally getting that vet a ring, I think that's what makes hockey so much different than other sports. It doesn't really happen in other sports. And that's just magical for me. Absolutely magical. Teams work together to trade away their talisman so that they can go win a ring. Like, it's nuts. I love it. Hopefully, this one's for Brent. Get Burnsy a trophy, 1,000 games consecutive, but it's a really exciting playoffs. Got some great matchups still live: Anaheim and Vegas and Buffalo, Montreal. Carolina Juggernauts. I do think we beat them, but that will be our toughest matchup after the Wild, or at the same level of the Wild. Yeah, it does feel like when we won the Cup to me a lot. The way we're constructed, some of the personnel, some of the results, the fight, the grit, the determination. You can see it when you look at McKinnon's eyes, how badly he wants this. And you try telling him no, because I don't think anyone can. I don't think anyone can. So, yeah. Hopefully, playoffs continue. We have some great matchups, but I do think Carolina and us are on a collision course for the finals, and it should be an absolute barnstormer of a series. So, we'll see. But have your say in the comment section down below about how you think that's going, how your team did. Did you get to the postseason? Did you do anything? Are you a fan of a team outside of the NHL? How are they doing? Fill me in, let me know. I'd love to have a conversation about that too. But like I said, that's where we are just after the Avalanche are through in 5 against the Wild, who are falling off this season. Only 1 for 2. Very bad. But no, they're a very good team. Stars have bounced back, which is very disappointing. I was enjoying seeing them down the bottom. But yeah, we'll kind of see how it goes. We are facing some of these decisions in real life, but how do you replace Joe Sakic? Well, get a number 1 overall pick and you get yourself McKinnon, right? So how do you get a successor to McKinnon? Well, you find yourself a Milan Sundstrom. He's like a point or 2 worse in most categories, offensively, mentally, and defensively, than McKinnon. He's got a couple that are higher, but he's very close to someone that's 14 years older than him. A veteran, an MVP Hart candidate, Ted Lindsay candidates, perennially, he's very, very close. He's had his debut season, did really well, almost took a Calder. Defensively, I think defensive forward grinder, he's very close to McKinnon here, and then he's like a point or two away from the two-way stuff, power forward stuff, and then a couple of points away on the more creative offensive side stuff. Physically, it's kind of even because McKinnon's down to 15 acceleration. At his peak, McKinnon kills him. McKinnon kills everybody. But how do you solve a problem like Milan Sundstrom? Nick McKinnon, you find a Milan Sundstrom. Not only that, but you run with Dorian Eklund Asp, who looks like a more defensive all-round player. Very interesting build on him. And then you also put in another Swedish center in Filip Rolf, who seems to be very well constructed as well. You have the three of them down the middle, and that's very, very good. You bring in another Scandinavian, this time a fantastic Finn, Emil Hamming. Contract ended with the Stars. They didn't renew it. We went ahead and signed him up. Very offensive-minded, but a very good player, and 3.5 for 4 means he's got a good chance. We call back up Tyson Goguen. We're waiting on Michael Haig and Niko Mijatovic to pop. We're waiting for them to take the step forward. Natchez, Dorofeev, McKinnon, that's an electric top line. Electric top line. Capocacco, Gavin Brindley, and Sundstrom proved last season they can get the job done. You kind of want a little more offense from Brindley and Kako since they don't put up great defensive ratings. But they are built very well defensively. They're kind of two-way wingers. So, it's not too bad. And then from there, you go to Mijatovic and Haig, and you just think, is this the year? Is this the year? We had to wait on McKinnon. He was a winger. He couldn't really win face-offs. Took him a bit of time to get going. That $6 million contract when it was signed looked like an overpay. Became the best hockey contract for like 4 years. But first couple looked kind of iffy. And then he turned into Nate Dogg. So I'm just wondering, is this the year for them or not? We also then have Noyan Schwander being called up. Like I say, Hemming's in the lineup. Gogwen's back in. A lot of talent, a lot of young talent. So I'm fine with that. Dorofeev and Kako are 28. Natchez is 30. McKinnon's 34. Still feel pretty good where we're about, and Arlad should probably be playing second line minutes somewhere, maybe third line. But he's our fifth choice center. It looks like at this point the youngsters are just pushing him out. So we might have to find a trade out for him, depending on if he's happy to play that role or not. Defensively, we are missing Malinsky. There's still like 3 weeks on that injury. So LeBret is just thrown into the deep end. He had a good season in the AHL. He had a decent spell in the ECHL as well with the Grizzlies. And he gets a shot to see what he does right now. But you're looking at Makar and Power. Drysdale moves up alongside Byram instead of normally being with Kevin Barr, the defensive machine that he is. But he's now safeguarding LeBret for a while. And another youngster, Aiden Wagner, is going to be at 70 for this season. Fowler is backup, but, he'll be important. To be fair, as he was last season, Nabokov should still be our number one, and did really well last season. Didn't lose us too many games. Is he going to step forward and become the superstar we think he is? Or is he going to fall just into that secondary category like a lot of players end up doing? I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. Our depth is okay as well. Now, Bellabous has come in. Looks like a really good prospect. And Janak we took early. Maybe he's long-term goalie. Who knows? Rokos, another goalie who could play. Brady, Wolf, Parsons, Didale. I like all of those players a lot. And then Boulard and Modig, I think, are solid depth pieces as well. We're fairly deep. We've got plenty of picks. We've got extra first rounders. I mean, this is our entire picks for next year. Yeah. We got even more picks this year. We got so many picks. We're trading away players. I have yet to push those through. Those are going to end up being like probably 3 firsts, 3 seconds, 4 thirds, and a couple of fourths by the time we're done with it. So maybe trade all these away with a bunch of these picks and push them back a year. Maybe take a splash on a big player if we need one, but I don't think we need one. So we're very well set up. It's easier to kind of do that on this game. When you're saying goodbye to good players every year. But it's been a good start. We're actually in a solid place. Sundstrom has 3 goals. He also has a couple of assists. That's 5 points for him. Dorofeev with a couple of goals and an assist. Drysdale has got 2 goals and an assist. McKinnon has got 3 assists. And Bowen Byram has a couple of apples as well to round things out. So quite good. Media's getting on the back of Haig early. Everyone else is kind of neutral, and they are championing Cale Makar right now. See how that develops over the season. You can see the picks here. All pretty good. Team harmony is fantastic. We got a bunch of popular players. I've really tried to zone in on that scout report and the mentality in the draft, and you can see here Rolf Wagner, Lebret, Sundstrom, who we didn't draft to be fair, but I really liked his profile. Asp, Neuenschwander, and the bulk of who we picked up in real life are all popular. Drysdale, Dorofeev, along with Makar and McKinnon as the leaders. McKinnon's captain, Makar is an alternate, and Dorofeev is an alternate as well. I've just gone and re-signed a bunch of staff. We lost a bunch of people. We got a great Australian scout, Xavier Lee. And we got Colm Harrendine, who is an even better scout from Wales. So I'm really happy to have found those. Those are really cool. So we got our coaches, we got 2 per position, got a buttload of scouts, got the best trainer we can find. We got a ton of money left over. We did get a very high budget. That's fine. We're gonna lose like 20 points this month, but we're also gonna stack it in fans in, so we're gonna make points basically, so we can just stick on the highest levels the entire year round. We've improved the arena a little bit. We've added new seats. We've added standing. The ticket price is quite high. To be fair, we can try and improve the quality. We can improve the ticket price, or we can build a new arena. That's about it. We can't add any more stands or seats, really. We can convert a couple of seats, I think. We'll see if we've hit our max on that, but everything else has already been disabled. So, yeah, I feel pretty good. We got no upcoming free agents. Like I say, a couple of those early draft picks look really, really good now. Just some fantastic performances actually in preseason from a bunch of people. Free agency, well, there's still like Podolsky, who I really liked in this draft year. Yeah, doesn't look like a ton right now. I gotta say, picked up 10th overall by the Canucks. Yeah, probably isn't who I thought he would be. In the game, he was always pretty highly rated as a youngster. Shame it hasn't worked out for him. Apart from that, there's not anything even interesting to me. And like I say, when we do look, waivers are kind of done as well. Celebrini, Carlson, Bedard, I was looking at maybe sending a farm out to try and get those guys. I don't think I need to. I think we've got our first line center that we don't have to overpay. So I'm good with that. Like McDavid, Hughes would be funny, but we don't need to there. If it doesn't really work out with like Haig, then Mitchkov could be a play. Like DuPont, if we want to bring someone in, if he doesn't get re-signed, which he should, Mitchkov should, he should. Celebrini, Carlson, Bedard, two out of those three probably will be. We could do that. Volstead is available at the end of this year currently. Get Johnson as well, who has two solid seasons and now is in Nashville, so we'll see what he does in our division. But I don't know if there's anyone here you'd want me to take a look at, and like just to see what they look like, and then also take a look at as in to try and sign them. I think the one player you go all out for would be Bedard. But why would you ever let a player like that go? That age, that quality, performing. I don't know why they wouldn't sign him to a new deal. I don't know why you let him get to the final year of his contract. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of the situation we're in. We're off and running with a decent start. We'll see where we get to. This year's draft picks are New Jersey and Seattle again. Seattle had number 2. They fell to number 4 in the draft lottery. So, yeah, Seattle already starting off with a loss, which is good. Why can I not remember? This is already Devils. Why can I not see the Devils? Oh, they're at the top of the metro. I wasn't looking at the top. Okay. So we'll kind of see where they go. Honestly, I've got nothing more I need to do in this save until we get at least to February. I think I'm going to send it to the deadline, just see what happens, see what unfolds. The Borkoff under a 2 goals against. We'll take that. Looks like Sundstrom, Geeky, Morrissey, Pastujov, Rossi, and Logan Cooley are all points leaders at the moment. Taj again are at Utah, and Nordmark getting off to a good start. Yeah, Cooley is on a bit of a heater there, boys. Sundstrom, though, not letting it go. Matt Boldy. The new generation is kicking in. It is kicking in. Wow. But yeah, I will see you at the trade deadline. We'll talk a little more about how the season's gone and what we may need to do. But formality, I don't think we're going to be doing anything. And McDavid now has 10 points. Okay, so we just sent Power down for 1.5 to 2 months. Just lost our first as well, overtime against Dallas. 10-0, but first big injury. Malinsky's very, very close. I've just called him up. And then LeBret will be the spare man. Quick little update. Sundstrom has fallen off a tiny bit. He's now only 3 games above. Now he's only on projection for 106 points. And 61 goals. So fallen off a little bit there, Milan. But yeah, Brindley's showing up massively. Dorofeyev showing up massively. Makar is doing really, really well now. And then McKinnon has just entered the chat. So there you go. McKinnon has entered the chat. But Logan Cooley still leads us off. He will cool off, pun intended. Isaac Howard having a monster season. He'll plummet back to earth, but he has left Edmonton and is loving life. Early on, Kaprizov, Fantilli, McDavid, of course, there, and Pastujov, which means that Sasha, Adam, and Isaac are all having monster seasons in Columbus, which is why they're chasing down the Capitals and should be in charge of that division. Goals against average, Nabokov, Fowler, really, really good, really early. Nabokov does have 6 wins, 4 go to Fowler. We're still platooning early. Save percentage is 915 and 908. So slight improvement for Fowler, bigger improvement for Nabokov. I kind of want to get a 920. If I can get 920 and I can get 2 goals against average, I think I'm very happy with my goaltending. So, yeah, that's just where we're at early on. First big injury. We had like 8 last season. So, if any do happen, I'm probably going to pause and showcase, especially since we're not going to do anything at the deadline. Really. Okay, so we had Power come back. It's always good. And then we've kind of had everything else happening. I did take some screenshots that I was going to show you, but I could just show you live. But yeah, so far, pretty good season. Everyone kind of chipping in. We now have sent Lebret down. I've just called up Franz Cajalati, who is doing okay in the HL, but that's because Emil Hemming is now down for a spell. He's had a solid season, nothing great. Honestly, he could heat up between now and the end of the season and kind of better last season, but he seems not to take a step up this year. Another month to 2 month injury right there. So Tyson wants a shot. He's upset about his ice time. And yeah, he is going to get his shot. One Finnish winger down, one Finnish winger up. Very happy about where we're at and how we're playing. And the reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, is right there. I mean, McKinnon's a top point scorer in the entire league. Makar is only 2 behind other people, including Logan Cooley, who was the early trendsetter, remember, with Sundstrom right in behind after recovering from a bad period. Dorofeev showing up. Top goal scorer in the league is Sundstrom. He had that electric start cooled off, showing it's not a fluke. And McKinnon, number 1 assister. You look over the other side of things, and yeah, Ilya Nabokov, 1.58 goals against average, 9.23 save percentage, 21 wins, 26 victories for us. Only 1 overtime loss to Dallas. And what's that mean? I kind of got excited about a pair of 8-win streaks last season, which was a down season for us, but you remember we talked about that in the last video. If you watched that, well, add them together, you get that 16-win streak that we have. We opened up with 10 wins, we lost in overtime, and now we've got 16 still going as we are dominating right now. The Blues and the Wild are 2 points ahead of the Sabres and the Islanders in the race for second place in the league. But your boys are 13 points clear of them and almost twice as many points as the lowest wildcard team. 16 in a row. Yeah, perfect at home. We only lost 1 in overtime in Dallas. Yeah, it's all coming together. It is all coming together. I can't say much more than that. We are those guys, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, Gogwin, a little unhappy, but like I say, he does get his shot. We will see. But yeah, Hemming, our second big injury. Start doing Malinsky. Power goes out for 2 months. Now Hemming out for 2 months. We're gonna keep on rolling though. I'll be back with the next update when anything else happens. Okay, well, we're not quite at the trade deadline, but yeah, we played the last game before the trade deadline. Season's going well. We're playing really good hockey. There's a real balance to the team, it seems. We've got all our defenders playing defense. Nature's playing defense. That's about it. We're still not kind of where we want to be defensively, but we are seeing, a couple of people playing well. So I'll always take that, right? We're doing what we need to do. We did just lose in overtime to Anaheim, which, yeah, puts us a 64-2 on the season, which means our winning streak was 54 games. Uh, I can't. I just can't. Right, we're a few games out from beating the record, which we should easily do now. Um, Bjorklund is a backup goalie who's played like 20 games. Yeah, 24 games. So he doesn't really count as far as save percentage goes, right? Which means that Barkov is the best starter in the league. He looks a little better than he did last season, but not much. Still, still lags a little bit compared to some goalies. 26. I've got to think he's fully developed, and he's showing out this year. He really is showing out this year. 935 save percentage, 133 goals a game. Oh my god, and 52 out of our 64 wins. Assists 82 for McKinnon. He's got a shot. Not maybe not an amazing shot, but he's got a shot at 100 assists. Dorofeev's already hit 50 goals. Come out of nowhere. He's a point away at the deadline from being 100 points. McDavid on 92. Columbus may have fallen away slightly, but Howard's still there with 88 points. Mercado finally stepping up once again with 87. Sundstrom and Nature's both have 76. At one point, we had 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7. So, yeah, as if like Howard was in 8th and he's jumped them. Yeah, Sundstrom, McKinnon, both 30-odd goal scorers. Possible for them to be 40 goal scorers this season. Possible for Dorofeev to be 60 goals this season. McKinnon could get 130 points and 100 assists. Still maybe wouldn't rule him out in the next 18 games, scoring 17 goals and going to 50 goals. It's definitely possible with him. Bowen Byram may have 50 assists this season. So it's it is coming together slightly, right? Like I can't fault the team. I can't fault anything we've done. The youngsters have kind of done okay. Wagner's come in and done okay. Yeah, at this point in the season, Mijatovic is a 30 goal scorer too. So we were waiting for him to pop off. And hey, 25, he shows up. We were waiting for Nabokov to take that step forward. Hey, he's now 26. He stepped up. We were waiting as well for Gavin Brindley to really step up. And this is definitely his best season. And looks like it could be a small step up at 25 for him as well. Sundstrom's just that elite prodigy. Could get 100 points in his second season. Almost won the Calder. Like, very happy with him. And Dorofeev now has finally broken through that goal scoring and could and should get 100 points finally. So it does feel like a bunch of people are taking a bit of a jump. In his rookie season, Philip Rolf has 43 points playing in a fourth line. Eklund Asp, not quite as good, I will say. And Haig, again, we're still waiting for that jump. We are still waiting for that jump. So some will make it, some won't. But in general, I've got to say, I really, really think the top players are playing well. We've got a bunch of people that should get 50 assists this season, should get 6 players there. We should get possibly 5 players, maybe 6, 7, even 8 that could be 30-plus goal scorers. We could get 3 realistically if Sundstrom and McKinnon go on a little bit of a run. Then who knows? They've got 18 games to get 15 and 17 goals respectively, so not even a goal a game. Just shy of that for them. We'll get them to 50 goals. We'd have 3 50-goal scorers, which would be wild. Dorofeev could get 60. He could even get 70 by the same metrics, right? It is what it is. Nobody's a minus player. Everything's just good. And yeah, Goguen and Allard maybe aren't playing the best. Sure. Malinsky back off injury. Understandable. And then Nguyen Schwander, a little disappointed. Kind of was hoping for more from him. Capocacco, again, doesn't really show up on the score sheet, but at least it's a big step forward from last season. And Eklund Asp, a little bit of a disappointing year. I expected more out of him. Rolf, I would expect Rolf to have his numbers. Him to have Rolf's numbers. So I can't be mad. It's just a different way round, right? And then Haig, Hemming, and Brindley. Little hit and miss. Mijatovic starting to step up. Drysdale, another solid season for him. Byram starting to push forward towards that point of game player. Ball, a pretty good season for him on the back of, not really featuring too much. Sundstrom growing into a beast. Natures getting close back to that 100 points player. Dorofeev about to hit it. Owen Power. A little bit of a down year from him, but he's been one of our best performers all season. McKinnon on for a monster season, and McCarr as well. So, yeah, when you start adding all those things up, and like I say, the goalies, 12 games, 12 wins for Fowler, 183 goals against, and a save percentage of 906. It's not bad, it's not great. He should probably save a little bit more than he has, but it's a great record. And then the Barkov, 52 out of 54, 2 overtime losses. This one at Anaheim, 1 at Dallas, but 133 goals against, 14 shutouts, 935 save percentage, almost half a goal less conceded per game, and over 25 goals saved above expected average. Like, it's a monster team playing monster hockey. Malinsky missed the first month of the season, carrying over a 3-month injury. Power went down for 2 months. Hemming went out for 2 months. A couple of the niggles, whatever, but nobody on the injured list apart from that major difference between last year and this year. And if we do stay healthy, then there we go. Then yes, who catches us, honestly? Anaheim are the best team in the rest of the league. Anunen has 32 wins with Utah. Got to give him props. Fair play. And then, like I say, Isaac Howard has shown up, leaving Edmonton, flourishing in Columbus. Should get his 100-point season. Absolutely fantastic for him. And then the same names showing up with Kent finally, kind of doing the other way, moves from the east to the west, leaves Columbus, and is kind of having a very good season in Nashville. But I still think Columbus would be much happier having Howard over him. And yeah, everybody else has kind of fallen off a little bit. All the other youngsters. So him and Sundstrom are kind of stealing the show as the next generation right now. No Celebrini, you know, that's a little bit of a shame, and some of the other young players you'd kind of expect to be showing up. I'm not sure what seasons they're actually having, but 2 overtime losses, one in Dallas and now one in Anaheim. Um, an almost flawless season. We still haven't lost in regulation at the deadline. I want to see if there is a piece we can add, but I don't want to add. I think we got the best goalie in hockey. We got the best defensive set in hockey. We got some of the best offensive players, some of the best young offensive players. Yeah, it would take something special, right? It would take something special. Isaac Rosen's still available. Like, as a backup, if I could send him down, I'd be happy there. I was going to say, I wonder if anybody has been re-signed. A bunch of people have. A bunch of people have. Connor Bedard hasn't. He's actually playing left wing. Not bad. A point a season, a point a game, but that's like a down season for him. Hughes is there. James Hagen's there. Boldy now as well. Like it's up to you who you like and who you want to take if they're available. But again, I still think Bedard's my main guy. Then maybe Landon Dupont will be a very interesting one if we could land him. And Chukov, I mean, possibly, but I don't know. But a defensive player again, if we wanted to bring someone in, that kind of fits, right? Like Higgins is a two-way player. Looking at this, that maybe is a good idea. Yeah, honestly, at times like this, it's just like, let's look for a forward. 26 or younger. Can play defense. It's like Connor Bedard, Warcroft, Big Willie, Jimmy Higgins. Preston's a two-way. Moore's not bad. I mean, only Boston's got to re-sign those two, right? 66 and 42 points projected. Like that's your young centers right there. Like if they let them go, then I don't know what they're doing. Pittsburgh as well, really. Holcroft and Preston. 55, 56. Yeah, not really players you should let go. York, Haight, Savanov's barely played, but he's done well when he has played a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the options really are out there. There hasn't been too much on waivers that I've been that interested in, to be fair. And Dylan Strom. Not really what I'm looking for. Line A. Orachev, Reed, no. You're probably going to cost a fortune. So. Chinsky again, we could go after, but I don't think so. Maxime Dubé. Dubé, baby. Baby. Sam Bennett. That's slightly interesting, but not really what I think we need. It's tough really to think what we do need, but it's probably a winger that plays really good defense. Don't D1. I don't see one. Window. Who's in a rebuild? Calgary. Ricky. Dealing. No. I I don't think so. Hellenius. Honzik. Other Hellenius. Not really. Um. Carolina. Okay. Just solid. Again, there's no way you give up a Roos, right? There's no way. Sebastian Aho. You're in a rebuild. Veteran. You'd need a Bokov to make that work. I mean, that's the most irreplaceable player we've got this season, technically. Chicago. Yeah, you don't give up your top guys. What have we got? What actually do we have? Florida? Not willing to trade up Bennett. You're in a rebuild. Barkov's on the last year of his deal at age 34. Bennett's on the trading block at 33. And there's no players that'll make that deal work. A first and natures for a Sam Bennett. Like, that's why I don't take trade deadline seriously at all. Yeah, I just don't think there's a reason to. So there we are. We're back onto it then. I'll see you at the end of the season, ready for those playoffs. Okay, so we're at the end of the season, and we didn't go up unbeaten in regulation. 82 and 2 for a new record. 162. That perfect season evades us just. I'm not actually sure who the first regulation loss was. It happened when I wasn't fully looking. I know we lost to the Wild. Did we lose? Well, no, we lost to Montreal. Sorry, we just beat the Wild and we lost to Montreal. And our first loss was in division against the Blues. What a good team there as well. So, yeah. Yeah, kind of crazy, right? Kind of crazy. What a team. We stayed healthy. You saw the injuries. Hemming for like 7 weeks. Power for 8 weeks. And at the start of the season, carrying over from last season, Malinsky for 6 weeks. Everybody else stayed fit. Everybody else played well. And yeah, some of the kids played good. Some of the veterans stepped up. Some of those guys who were waiting on kind of stepped into things a little bit. And yeah, the best goalie in hockey was Nabokov. 61 wins, 933 save percentage, 136 goals against. Bjorklund played 35 games. That doesn't really count. And even then, he's only 4 thousandths of a save percent ahead. So, yeah, team played amazingly well. Goaltender played amazingly well. Byram hit 60 assists. Nature 65. McCarr 79. And McKinnon, he was 98 going into the final day against Minnesota. And I guess he got his 99 here on the Hemming goal. And then Cale Makar on the power play, he got his 100th point halfway through the third. So kudos to him. He did get that. Dorofeev, 63. McKinnon and Sundstrom, 45 goals apiece. Svechnikov on 47, the only one to outscore either of those. Makar hits 100 points. Sundstrom, 95. Nate just falls off a little bit. What do you end up on? 93. Byram on 76. Very, very decent. But yeah, Dorofeev, huge season, 121 points. 145 for Nate McKinnon, which is another phenomenal performance. 156. And, a couple of years ago, we won the trophy. We won it that year on his real down year. Then he kind of came back up, and then he's hit an absolute monster season again. So, yeah, what can you say about him? Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, goals. We had a 60 goal scorer, 245s, a 36, and Nature's just missed out being a 30 goal scorer this season. 420 goal scorers are absolutely fine. 100 points, almost an 80 point from Makar. He just missed that. 260 with Dorofeev just in below, but he's one of 250s, 240s, 330s, and 420 assisters as well. 300 point totals. Sundstrom 93, Nature's 95, Nature's 93. Mijatovic, we wanted that season from him. 11 points in 20 games felt okay. 42 and 84, same pace. 81 and 84, he finally showed up. He doubled his assists almost. He did double and more his goals. And that's what we were waiting for, someone to break out at age 25. Jakub Mijatovic does show up, and that means I'm pretty happy now on that left-hand side. We know Sundstrom can replace McKinnon. We brought in Dorofeev, and he's had a few great seasons with us. Mijatovic can replace him. Power and Byram, they can replace what we lost with Devon Taves. It's all kind of coming together on that right-hand side. I'm waiting. Hemming was good, but no step forward. Brindley, it's a bigger season from him. It's not bad. Would like a little bit more. See if he can replace Natures, but I think we've got a good shot there. And Haig's just another disappointing season for what we know he can do. The fact that Neuenschwander has almost matched him already is a little kind of interesting. But yeah, I'm fairly happy. I'm fairly happy when you look at everything that they've done and how they've played and everything. And then, like I say, the games. 20 games played, 19 wins, 1 loss for Fowler. 115, he's positive, goals saved above averages, and a 926 save percentage. So he ends up with 3 shutouts. A very, very good season as a backup. He deserves to be a starter. He's going to be an amazing goaltender. We picked him up for absolutely nothing, and we're going to cash in big time on him. I'm sure of that. But 61 wins, 1 loss, and 2 overtime losses for Ilya Nabokov. 16 shutouts, 136 goals against, monster goals saved above averages, and a 933 save percentage. He is the real deal. He is the real deal. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about the team. We're just those guys right now. I still think we've got some really good prospects coming through that we do need to take a little bit of a chance on at times. And like I say, Rolf hitting 42 points. Not quite what Sundram hit last season. He was 27 and 33 for 60. Rolf is 22 and 20 for 42. But still very, very good. Eklund Asp, as I say, 5, 10, 15. Not amazing. Doing Schwander as well, 11 and 9 for 10. And then Hemming's first season with us, only 35 points. Not amazing. We'll give him time. Kapakako, 44 points. It feels more right for a defensive player. Definitely seems to be settling into that second or third line slot. No, Mijatovic jumping up, so he's back on the third line, which should suit him. Ball ends up with 28 points. Drysdale with 45 points. So very nice from them as well. Belinsky, even with some more injuries, he's back above 30 points. Wagner, solid as a young guy. Lebre got 1 assist in 8 games that he played. I'm very, very happy with where we stand. Now, that could all go completely wrong, to be honest with you. Could go completely wrong as we enter the playoffs. It looks like we got Nashville in the first round here then. Utah and the St. Louis Blues. Dallas and Anaheim. Edmonton and Vancouver. It's no Wild. They did drop off, but yeah. Dallas, Utah, St. Louis, and us. And Nashville. 5 teams. Okay. Game just sort of breaks out a little bit with 5 teams from our division. Dallas plays Anaheim. Us 4 play each other. And then Edmonton, Vancouver. Kind of the odd matchup out. Okay. Boston, Buffalo, Montreal, Tampa Bay, Washington, New Jersey, Columbus, New York Islanders. Very, very interesting. We had Seattle's pick. And I can't remember who the other pick. I can never remember who the other pick was. Devils. So, Devils have a great season. Seattle have a top 5 pick. It's not a lottery pick. We picked up 4 last time. We might be picking up 5 this time. Or if we win the lottery, we can move up. If teams above us win lottery, we move back down. Gives us a shot. But unless we get number 1, which I'm surprised to see Vegas and Toronto as the bottom 2 teams, to be honest with you. By God, Vegas had a terrible season. Okay. Yeah, we do have a couple of options there, but Okay, let's kick off the playoffs then. Nashville. We've had some dealings with them over the years, of course, in division rivals. They've had a few of our players. We've had a few of their players. We've had some tasty matchups between us. We are the best team in the league. We got the best players in every position, pretty much. Let's see how the series goes. And it is a shutout to start things off with 7 goals. We are going to delay the treatment for Kale McCarr, cut his ear. Yikes, not what you want to see. But okay, Drysdale with a game winner on a feed from Byram and Natchez. Sunderstrom from Drysdale. Haig and Natchez feed Dorofeev, and Rolf from Kako and Drysdale in the second. Oh my god. I didn't even notice. Kako to Emil Hemming. Milan Sundstrom second of the game, nice and early. And then 50 seconds later, Mijatovic to Sundstrom for his hat trick. And then later on in the period, Gavin Brindley to Bohm Byram, and Milan Sundstrom gets his 4th of the game. Yeah, he's very quickly growing into being a problem. He definitely is. They didn't have much at all. We had some really good defensive performances. We had some really good offensive performances. Saros, didn't really face a shot in those 7 minutes. Don't know why Ivankovic was starting, but he had a really bad outing. And Nabokov saved 24. Gets just a fantastic performance under his belt. We know Kale's injured. We chose to ignore the injury, for better or for worse. St. Louis Blues take the lead over Utah. The Anaheim Ducks take the lead over Dallas. And the Edmonton Oilers on the road, the only Western road team to take an advantage over the Canucks there. Sabres 1 up at home over Boston. Tampa at home 1 up over Montreal. Devils 1 up at home against Washington. Blue Jackets, the only Eastern team on the road to take the first game of the series over the Islanders. Game number 2. 6-1, 7-0, and now 6-1. Big, big, big. McKinnon to Power to McCarr. McCarr to Hemming to Philip Rolf with the game winner. Sundstrom to Mijatovic. Then their goal, Will Sharp, Brady Martin, Duke Evangelista. And then Nguyen Schwander to Dorian Eklund, Asperberry. Young core of players getting goals in that second period. Mijatovic to Owen Power, and then Power to Kako, and Captain Nath McKinnon finally on the score sheet. Couple of points for him today. Dursey showed up defensively, but yeah, again, Owen Power leading the defensive charge, the defensive core being good, and we're just good top to bottom. Nabokov was what I needed him to be. Let 1 in on 15. 6 on 46 for Saros isn't great, but it's not bad, actually. When you're outshot 3-1 the entire game, or over 3-1 the entire game, I think you take what you can get. But I love Owen Power coming up big there for us. I really, really love that. Him and McCarr being a problem for people, I think, is really, really fun for us. We take a 2-0 lead. So do the Blues, the Ducks, and the Oilers. The Blue Jackets, Devils, and Lightning. But Boston ties it up with a game apiece now in that series against Buffalo, and we do go to Boston next, so we'll see how that turns around. But Oilers and Blue Jackets won both their road games. They can close this out at home despite being the lower seeds. That would be a good achievement for them as well. Us against Nashville, and we do drop a game. I felt that maybe it was coming. It felt too easy. It felt a little too much. Carter Franson, Matthew Wood, and then Kapakako Malinsky score. On the power play, Gavin Brindley high sticking Kent Johnson to Adam Ingram, and Connor Garland tucks it away. Wood from Dursey with a game winner, and then just over a minute later, McKinnon to Ball and Marty Nature scores, keeping it tight. But 2 goals from Wood. Saros played really, really well. Offensively, we weren't at the races. Defensively, we weren't too bad. They weren't great either. But yeah, and the Borkov, not a great night. 26 of 27 of 29 saves. A little below what I need him to be. Saros is the better goalie, and they steal one at home. But yeah, still don't really fear for the series right now. But you never know. You never know. So we drop a game. The Blues and Ducks don't, though. They are up 3-0. The Oilers do drop one at home to the Canucks now, which is crazy to me. The Blue Jackets are on pace. Devils are up by 3. Lightning and the Bruins take a slight lead now in their series. Bruins may be doing a gentleman's sweep on their side of the bracket. Get back to winning ways, though. Nabokov's had his bad game. Now we can just put that to bed. Ball, Natures to Dorofeev. And then Marty Natures with the game winner from Malinsky and Dorofeev. Not even halfway through the first. Roman Josi from Wood and Dursey gets their sole goal at the start of the second. Then Owen Power from Eklund, Asp and Haig. Nolan Schwander from Haig and Eklund Asp. They are starting to create together. Defensive, very nice core. Team-wide offense highlighted by Natures and Dorofeev. Couple of quiet games from McCarr and McKinnon, but the team has taken over in 1 win and 1 loss. Yossi played well. Vaslin, good defense. Soros was solid. Nabokov was just as good. Shame he doesn't get the shutout. And again, we outshoot them more than 3-1. 100% will take that. Chance for us to close things out. Looks like St. Louis do that. They dispatch. Scott McCall was injured. That's possibly why he's not having the playoffs we would want from him. But yeah, St. Louis do dispatch the Utah Mammoths in 4. Anaheim take Dallas out in 4, given Dallas's recent struggles. Not a surprise, given how good Anaheim were. I think the number 2 team in the league this year. Indeed, they were 123. Dallas weren't that bad, but yeah. Oilers up 3-1 on the road. We're up as a home team in this series 3-1. Boston Buffalo tied at 2 apiece, though. Most interesting series is going the distance, it feels. Tampa, New Jersey, and Columbus all up 3-1. And just like us, they've got a chance to close this out. And we do. It's another shutout. It's 4-0. Kako from Rowe from Power, Byram from Drysdale, Mijatovic from Sundstrom, and Drysdale. Sundstrom's been quiet. 4 goals in that opening game. Now he's got 2 assists in this playoffs. I think it's 6 points for him. And his 7th comes on a feed to Brindley. And Mijatovic, his 2nd goal of the game, puts the biscuit in the basket. And that's good enough for me. And yeah, Nabokov not really worked hard, but did his job. Go forward a day. Tampa Bay and Edmonton do close out their series as well. So the Blues and Ducks sweep the Oilers and ourselves in 5. On the other side of the bracket, Lightning and Devils in 5. It's going at least 6 between Buffalo and Boston, with the Sabres holding the advantage and Columbus hold the advantage. But that's also going at least 6 against the Islanders. Buffalo closes out, though. They do get through. Thought that was the most likely to go to 7, but no, the Islanders with a win. And they will take their series to 7 and beat the Blue Jackets, who had a very good young core this season. Kudos to them. But yeah, that goes to 7. And wow, what a series that was. Islanders, Devils, the Lightning against Sabres. The Oilers have to overcome the mighty Ducks. And the Blues have to overtake the near perfect Avalanche. Get game 1 done, and we do win. 100%. We'll take that. So the Ducks up 1-0 in their series as a home team. Same as us. The Devils and the Sabres, all the home teams here, the higher seeds, taking it in. It is 1 versus 2 everywhere, apart from Edmonton, who did overcome the number 2 seed Canucks. Potential to be a very interesting season or series between Edmonton and Anaheim, as well as New Jersey, who have to overcome a 7-game winning Islanders. Game number 2, we do take it 7-2. Did we look at the first one for us? 4-3. I don't feel we did, right? Kairu, Lorray, Gunler, who's on our team for a hot second. Natchez, Drysdale, Byram, Allen, Broberg, Kairu, Gunler, Kairu, Robert Thomas. I mean, Jordan showing up in this game for sure. Hemming to Malinsky and Kapakako with a goal. No Instruander from Eklund, Asper, Michael Haig. Love that. Young line coming together. Then Nordmark with a slashing penalty. McKinnon feats Natchez. And that is a big goal. Didn't really see too much from them, it seems. Again, we did what we do. The Bokov wasn't great. Gibson played better. And then in this one, Carbonell from Malenstein and Allen. Dorofeev and Rolf feed Hemming. Rolf then profits on feed from Malinsky and Kako. Mijatovic with a goal from Byram. Drysdale and Brindley combined to set up Dorofeev. And the game was done after 1. It was done after 1. Brindley with a pair then on feeds from Rolf and Kako. And then Dorofeev and Natchez on the power play on a Jared McCann roughing penalty. Malinsky feeds Mijatovic late on to put this one really beyond the grasp of the Blues. Robert Thomas comes up on a feed from Broberg, but that is all she wrote. And yeah, they didn't even play much at all. The Bokov kind of just got the job done. And we outshot them 53-21. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if you're facing down that many shots? Oh yeah, we need to go forward a day. Oh, does look very similar. Yeah, it looks like we're kind of getting unready prospects. I mean, at this point, I'm probably wanting to take Kenny out of everybody here. I think Butcher might be like really special. But Kenny's just so much more developed and ready. Um, so yeah, picking up 5. We'd hope Kenny's there. He probably won't be. Um, if you end up winning the lottery, do you go pure potential or do you go for the more ready prospect, or you take one of the two good young defensemen that probably should be taken very early? Um, I don't know. Right? I don't know. We're up by 2. Anaheim up by 2. New Jersey up by 2. Tampa Bay Buffalo sharing their series 1 apiece. We do drop game 3 then. The first game on the road, Tampa Bay are up 2-1. And we drop this game in St. Louis as well. The overtime game. So, Sundstrom's leadership's going up. Okay. Passing's gone up. His leadership's going up. Like those holes we pointed out at the start in his game compared to McKinnon's, like he's filling out those holes. He really is. Oh, I love that. Who's downgraded? Nature's okay. Checking his shot accuracy. Um, cool. Yeah, we do drop game 3. Anaheim with a 3-0 lead. New Jersey takes a game there. 2-1 lead. So us, Tampa Bay. I can't believe I deleted that. Oh my god. Well, it is what it is. But us, Tampa Bay and New Jersey have an advantage in our series. Anaheim, who swept the Stars, might be about to sweep the Islanders. I don't know even if I can get to that list again of players. Can I respond to that? I don't think so, right? That's personal news, not team news. It's not league news. Nothing that I can do, right? Oops. Well, it is what it is. Sad as it may be, it is what it is. We don't do Hall of Fame this year. There we go. We do get a win. It is 4-1 over the Blues. McKinnon from Mijatovic and Malinsky, Morrissey from Mboy and Nordmark. We swap penalties in the second. But then Natures from McKinnon, Brindley from Sundstrom and Mijatovic. And when Jordan Kyrou goes to the box for interference, Owen Power feeds Pavel Dorofeyev with a power play empty netter in the last minute. Again, a perfect defensive game from Owen Power. Some good support, good balance of attack there as well. They showed up defensively mainly. Gibson was a better goalie, but not by much. Nabokov got the job done. Does put us on the brink, but back-to-back sweeps now. Dallas and Edmonton fall to those mighty, mighty Ducks. Absolutely quackers. But we are up with a chance now to close out against the Blues in 5. Took us 5 to get past Nashville as well. Gonna take 5 at least if the Lightning win to push past Buffalo, who I had going probably to the Stanley Cup final. Looks like they are struggling. They're going to have to really fight their way back from this one. And the Islanders tie things up at 2 apiece in the East. But we do close out with a big win, 7-1 I think I chose the wrong option there, but that's fine. Few penalties early on. Then they open up early in the second period. Tyler Radish, De Broberg, and Melenstein with a goal. Byram, Rolf, and Emil Hemming combine to tie things up. And then Dorofeev from Neuenschwander and Kevin Ball give us a lead going into the third. That's the game winner. And Robert Thomas interference penalty lets Dorofeev feed Natchez for a power play. Sundstrom from Ball and Brindley. Byron from Drysdale and McCarr. 3 defensemen combining on that one. That's very unusual. That's very unusual. And then Nordmark takes a penalty, and 13 seconds later, Natchez to Dorofeev. Hale McCarr with the goal. A minute later, Neuschwander to McCarr, and he gets a goal there today again. No McKinnon, right? Just he's been really quiet in these playoffs, both on the score sheet and just as a player in general. But yeah, again, the Barkov does exactly what he needs to do. Gibson wasn't great. We just absolutely smashed them top to bottom. And I'll take that 100%. New Jersey up 3-2. In their series, Tampa Bay up 3-2. Buffalo trying to fight back. Can they take it to a game 7? Well, Buffalo, Tampa will go to 7. New Jersey and the Islanders too. Buffalo do take it in 7. Monster from them. New Jersey take their series too. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. McCarr still playing through an injury. Hemming's been plagued by minor injuries. McKinnon's had a couple of knocks. We're through in 5 both times against Nashville and St. Louis in our division. Now out of our division for the first time. But the sweeps of Dallas and Edmonton prove that this Anaheim team are here to play. And we face off with them once again, knowing that we're in for a bit of a battle. And on the other side, New Jersey, our second cup, I believe, 2001, right? New Jersey. Patrick Elias. Kind of memorable. Scott Stevens, defenseman he didn't really want to play against. Scott Niedermayer, slightly more finesse about him, but again, just phenomenal. And of course, Marty Brodeur. And you get to Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier, who we lost the number 1 pick that year. Hischier ends up at the Devils. We thought he might be an Avalanche player at one point. But we lost that draft lottery. So, bit of history there. And then Buffalo, of course, there is a little bit of history in Bo Byram, and we actually have him back now. So, yeah, they don't actually have any of our former players. They do have a very decent lineup. I just think we're better. Yeah, we're just better. We're just better than the Devils. I mean, Hughes, Hayton, Hughes, Malhotra. Players I really like. Jesper Bratt, very underrated. Not in this game, but in general. Solid team. And Anaheim. Harry. Underrated. Very, very good player. Del Belbalus and Leo Carlson. Great punch down the middle with those two boys for sure. They got Rupe Hintz, who's falling off. McTavish, Seneca, and Keller, who we sent their way after picking him up. Josh Manson is still there. I guess that means that Landeskog did retire. Got Vasilevsky as backup. I mean, it's a crazy team, right? It took them, what, 22 years to win the second Stanley Cup? Are they going to get 3 just a year later? Or are we going to overcome them this time? I don't know. We should do it, but will we? Buffalo takes a lead, and Anaheim takes a lead. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see. Troy Terry from Smith and Carlson, Hintz from Manson and the Storis, and McCarr from Natchez, Mijatovic, Carlson from Troy Terry and Clayton Keller, Hemming from Rolf and McCarr, McKinnon from Byram and Natchez. Wild comeback in the second, then Pedersen to McQueen, and they really just sort of threw the body about, it looks like, in that third. They got a roughing penalty, which was a misconduct on top, and a slashing penalty. But yeah, we weren't at our best. They weren't at their best. Nabokov wasn't as good as Vasilevsky. Outshot them almost 2-1. Our power play was 0 for 2. We lose the first of the series. Never good at home. Devils tie up their series 1 apiece. We need to do the same now. And we do 5-3. And the Ducks lose the first game of their playoffs. Sundstrom from Mijatovic and Byram. Hemming and Powerfeed Rolf. Smith from Hintz. Dorofeo from Drysdale. We get ourselves a little advantage going into third. Then a Terry double. Smith to Keller on the first. Smith to Carlson on the second. Game winner from Drysdale to Power, and Philip Rolf showing up again. Second goal of the game. And the icing on the cake later on, Natchez to Hemming, and Owen Power gets that goal. Bit more from them. Defensively, we're still poor, but offensively, we showed up. Nabokov, still not good. Vasilevsky, good enough. Nabokov, great all year. Great in the playoffs. Couple of off games, but in general, vast improvements yet to really show up in this series. Defensively as well, though, no protection at all. We do take it here with a shutout. 5-0. Owen Power, game winner, 26 seconds in. Natchez and Dorofeev. Haig from Ball and Natchez. In the second, it's McKinnon from Power and Byram. And then it is Kapokako from Power and Dorofeev. And when Josh Manson hooks late on, Owen Power feeds McKinnon on the power play. And he scores just his 5th goal of these playoffs. I think we're 13 games in. Finally, Power shows up. Ball shows up defensively. Malinsky shows up defensively. Nature shows up defensively. Even Haig and Byram. This is what we need to get the team going. And Nabokov then excels on small number of shots. Does absolutely fantastic. And we absolutely blitz the Ducks. Moving up 2-1 in the series. Buffalo and New Jersey are tied at 2 apiece. And we're not 6-1. We overcome the Ducks. The gentleman sweep is on. Keller with an early penalty. McCarr to McKinnon. Marty Natchez with a goal. Then Natchez to McKinnon for Dorofeev. Malinsky for Neuenschwander. And then in the third period, Malinsky to Asp to Neuenschwander. Mijatovic to McCarr. Del Belbaluz to Lardis, and Cripps get their only goal sort of 5 minutes from time. Sundstrom to Malinsky, and Mijatovic with a goal to close out. Again, Power and Ball being the main defensive core for us. We weren't great defensively. We were solid, but not spectacular offensively. I mean, 938 save percentage, you got game ratings low, whatever. I don't care. That's more to do with shots against versus goals against. Save percentage is also calculated that way, but like in a more realistic way. Outshot them 4-1. Over 4-1. Yeah. Vasilevsky played good. But Nabokov had higher save percentage, so the game ratings don't really tell the story. That's why I don't mind it so much. But we do get a shot now to eliminate. New Jersey moves up 3-2. Can we dispatch Anaheim? We do indeed the gentleman sweep. We overcome Anaheim 6-3. McKinnon on the power play on a Lardis cross check. Dorofeev and power feed him. Then Caden Allen ties it up from Terry and Carlson. Natchez from Malinsky and McKinnon. Aaron Smith hooks. 2-minute penalty to end the first period. Natchez and Dorofeev make them pay 16 seconds later, 14 seconds later. In the second, Natchez to McKinnon. Dorofeev gets what would end up being the game winner. And then he completes his hat trick on the power play on a McTavish boarding penalty. McKinnon to Natchez, Dorofeev with a goal. They do make a game of it, though. McTavish to Lacombe, McQueen with a goal. And then on a Mijatovic interference penalty, Karen Smith feeds Troy Terry. And right at the end, Bowen Byram, Philip Rolfe, and Capo Caco with an empty netter a minute from time seals out the win. Ball defensively great. Power and Byram showing up. Nature showing up. Some offense with Dorofeev, McKinnon, Natchez for sure. Vasilevsky was okay. Nabokov wasn't great. But it didn't really matter. And we're going to 7. As Buffalo and the Devils just keep trading. Yeah, 2 sweeps for the Ducks, then they get reverse swept in a gentleman's sweep as we win 4-1 in Nashville, 4-1 with St. Louis, and 4-1 now with Anaheim. I don't care if it's New Jersey or if it's Buffalo. I'm still going to back us in 5. It seems to be the pattern. I think it's likelier to be New Jersey. I think I'd prefer it to be Buffalo. And it's going to be New Jersey. It's going to take overtime to do it. It is going to take overtime to do it. Yeah, McCarr's playing at about 62% strength right now. Everybody else is looking okay. Stanley Cup final then. Game number 1. And we will take it 4-0. Haig from Malinsky and Eklund Asp. Drysdale from Brindley and Sundstrom. Then Drysdale from Byram and McKinnon. Rolfe from Henning and Capo Caco. Luke Hughes played well. We weren't really at the races. Nabokov with a good performance. Probably the worst stat-wise that we've played. Sort of game rating-wise. To win 4-0. It's a 5-3 over New Jersey. A bit more of a battle, it seems. Nature's cross-checks. Jack Hughes, Oliver Moore, and Jager Furkas with his 3rd goal on the power play puts them in the lead. Hemming from Byram and Kako, then Luke Hughes from his brother Jack and Adam Bodquist. Mijatovic puts us back in the lead. From Drysdale and Sundstrom. Ties it up. Hemming back in the lead from Rolfe and Capacacco. And then Nunschwander with the game winner from Kale McCarr. Lindgren from Jackash and Danford before Rolf finishes it off in style from Kappa Kako and Kevin Ball. We sort of showed up and played more our game. Not really great defensively, I will say. Neither goalie played particularly badly or particularly well. But I don't really care because we won, and our goalie didn't cost us a game at all. And we are up 3-0. Very, very good. Owen Power showing up on this one. So Sundstrom from Mijatovic and Brindley, then Philman from Furkas and Moore, Jack Hughes from Zekas and Jesper Bratt gives them the lead in the first, nothing in the second. And then it all comes to bear in the third. Bondrick, De Forester, Del Elche. I clicked on. You don't love that too much. Don't love that too much. We got Kekalainen, Pisto. Not really relevant. These aren't relevant. Delelche is playing for the Devils in the Stanley Cup final. And we get Wagner, who is playing for us-ish in a cup final. Okay. Delelche. They do have a former player of ours. I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. Up 3-1. Early on, but a very quick turnaround. 30 seconds later, Drysdale to Brindley, Milan Sundstrom with the goal. Dorofeev to Drysdale, Mari Natures ties us up at 13:30. 36 seconds later, the game winner, Emil Hemming to Dorofeev, and Nathan McKinnon, the captain, on the board. And then 21 seconds ago, McKinnon to Dorofeev, and he finds Sam Malinsky, empty netter, to put it to bed. We weren't great defensively in this series at all, but we keep finding a way to win. That offense is just super powered. We come from behind in a big way in this game, and it means that we can go to New Jersey and win it on the road. Let's see. Foul of determination, leadership from Mijatovic. Or stick checking from Rolf. No, like turning into a two-way player. He basically posted a point every other game. He's turning into a two-way player. If his mentals improve, like bravery and team player more than anything, like he could be a little bit of a problem. He's turning into something. Mijatovic, good season. No, getting a bit of leadership. He's almost at the point where you can trust him with an alternate. I love that. Boulard's just developed like crazy as well. It doesn't look like much because he was so bad, but like he's never been off this page. 100% booze, determination. Love that. Hayden's team player. Right now, he's had a good season in the AHL. Booze. I mean, similar season, slightly better. Similar. Mental toughness for Janek. Od's fighting, okay. The dial passing, aggression, and hitting. Okay. When it says Kevin Ball's speed and Nathan McKinnon's acceleration. What's that, 14? No, 15. He must have gone up and he's come back down to 15. Ball speed down to 12. Not too bad, though. Okay. Well, let's round this off in style. 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. Now up 3-0. There is a chance that the Devils do take this game and we win it at home and we stick with 4-1. There's also the chance that we do indeed sweep. Colorado Avalanche, New Jersey Devils. Been a while since we've been here with them. But it ends here. Big game. Huge third period. McKinnon, McCann, Nabokov, championship number 6. Oh. 5 games against the Preds, 5 against the Blues, 5 against the Ducks, who put us out last year and won it all. Sweep the Devils. 100%, boys. 100%. 6-5, a tough third period. Hemming from Rolf and Kakar open up. Del Elche with a goal. Jack Hughes and Lindgren on the feeds, and Cam Squares from Philman and Danford. They get off to an early start, up to 2-1. Rolf then from Hemming and Byram tie it up. And carried over. McKinnon's tripping penalties converted early in the third. Fondrick to Hughes, giving them the lead back. Then McKinnon makes up for it. He turns on a feed from Dorofeev. He then feeds Owen Power on the power play after Malhotra with a hooking penalty. Billman and Moore combine, with Josh scoring with 5 minutes left to tie things up. Then Sundstrom from Brindley, and then Diorio from Othman a couple of minutes later, again keeping it even before Diorio, who kept him alive, but just 4 seconds after his goal, tripping penalty, that top line from Colorado pays the bills. Marty Natchez to Nathan McKinnon, and the Russian sniper Pavel Dorofeev on the power play, 1:03 from time, wins the Stanley Cup for Colorado. We showed up offensively. We were a little lackluster defensively. Nabokov was good until he got to the finals and then kind of really tailed off. But how much of that was Cale Makar playing in front of him at 60%? How much of that truly was? Makar can go down. But right now, to that injury list. And, I mean, the Brett can come back up just for the sake of appearances. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Apart from Kajahati, don't think anybody else even got called up this season. It was literally Brett who started because Malinsky's injury and now gets called back up for Makar. And once Malinsky came up, Owen Powell went down for a bit. We just kept LeBret up. And then when Hemming went down, the best man I had available was Kajalati, so we called him up for Finn. But that's it. Like, with Makar's injury, this is the entire list of people that played for us this season. I mean, I say that Kaj Hati didn't actually play a game for us. Yeah, wow. I'm blown away by this team at times. Absolutely am. It didn't really feel like that top line was fantastic. But if you look at it, Natchez with 25, Dorofeo with 24. McKinnon, kind of a down year for him, 21. But even against the next two, which is Barzal and Hughes, 21 and 23, so 4 games more. And the same points, and 4 points left with 1 games more. Like the Borkov as well. 4 shutouts, 914 save percentage, 188 goals against. Kind of showed up. Liam Kenny moves up to number 2. It looks like we're not going to get him. Won't be interesting. Okay, so don't know who we could have nominated, but we at least get to vote. I don't know him very well. Kipalainen, Babic, Larson. Yeah, I kind of know names, not really players or play style. Not a huge fan of Kevin Hatcher, but at least I know him. But Keith Jachuk hated him, but yeah, sure. Hamalik, I know a lot. Numanen, Pat Verbeek. Oh, Hamalik? Osgood, Miller, Rene. Those would be my kind of questions. Do I just go with these 3 goalies? Do I give Hamalik a shot? I don't think I can split the goalies too much, right? I think it's got to be Pecorine. Miller over Osgood. I really like Chris Osgood, though. I mean, it's tough to have those goalies all there. To be honest with you, that's a little tough. Oh, but we do win our 3rd Stanley Cup of this playthrough. 5 years in, bumped round 1 by Utah in year 1, win a cup in years 2 and 3, bumped in the Western Conference Final by eventual winners Anaheim Ducks in year 4, and then we get what it takes. Yeah, it looks like Hatcher and McCrimmon are getting a lot of votes. Going to Chuck and Miller, I got to stick with it. Osgood getting a bit of a run off there as well. 100% understood, but yeah, highly successful season, highly successful save. Love that for us. We're backing Keith. We're almost going to try and force him into the hall at this point. Because we did it when we nominated him and it didn't work out. So we're just gonna full send that one in and hope that they just let it go. Hope that they just let it go. And the NHL awards, I don't think we've got a shot at the Calder. Pretty. Oh, okay. Yeah, he really developed his feeds this season, huh? 2nd round, 3rd round. Second round. Early second round. Okay. Picked him a little bit ahead of where he might have been. Him Burns Christensen for Siegenthaler, Villeneuve, Gül, Brunette, and Hanron. Okay. I'm kind of okay with that, I guess. So they win the Memorial Cup. He was a bit of a beast in general. And he definitely carried that through into the playoffs. Good for him. Yeah, we don't have a nomination for the Calder, sadly. Ivar Stenberg, he gets nominated on 59 points. Gustafsson, good defensive performance for Seattle. Sure. And then Carter Casey with the Blue Jackets rookie season. Actually, has a very good season. Can't complain too much about that. I just wanted to compare what it would have taken for Rolf. So time on ice is pretty big across the, across the league. I think minutes do count for a lot when looking at awards. Game ratings higher, time of ice is significantly higher. There's not a ton of difference between the points and everything. It's really those extra assists. I didn't think we'd get a shout, but at the same time, I don't feel we were a million miles away from it. Like, I do feel Sundstrom could have won it, but he didn't. And then Rolf could have been nominated, but he wasn't. So, it's a difficult one to win because you can only win it once in your career. You're only eligible once in your career, to be fair. And only one person can win it a year, of course. So, really is a tough one to win. Ted Lindsay goes to Nathan McKinnon. At Ross, Nathan McKinnon. Maurice Richard, Pavel Dorofeev. Lady Bing goes to Isaac Howard. Good season for the young man. The Bill Masterton goes to Sam Malinsky. That's very nice. The Mark Messier Award goes to Atamonov. The Barkov takes the Jennings. The Hart will come down to McDavid, McKinnon, and McCarr. On Smythe. Conn Smythe, I think, might go to Owen Power or Pavel Dorofeev. Other people stood out, but those two in big moments, I remember, really coming alive and performing. Natchez as well a little bit, but I would say maybe more Dorofeev. And Power, especially with McCarr dropping off a little bit with his injury, I think he did step up. I say we looked at the Calder. I think Stenberg has a really good shout for that one. The Norris is Byram, Drysdale, and McCarr. No Owen Power, which is slightly surprising. Jamie Drysdale's really taken a step forward more than I noticed, apparently. But with Malinsky, with the Masterton, and all three of our players in for a Norris, it's kind of wild. Not only that, but like a couple of players I've been looking at maybe trading for to help defensively, Barrett Hayden and Ryan McLeod. But they're up against Gavin Brindley for the Selkie. Vasilevsky and our former player, Dorbish, in the Vesna race against Nabokov, who should take it. And the executives Matthew Dashe at New York Islanders, and Doug Armstrong of the St. Louis Blues, and Patrick Waugh and Chris Higgins, same organizations, in against Bednar for the Jack Adams. The Hart should go to McKinnon. It does. Another hat trick for him, the Lindsay, Ross, and the Hart. Conn Smythe, I don't know, but I want to say Poe because he's missed out on everything. It's like the entire defensive core, apart from him and Ball, have got a mention for the Norris or the Masterton. It is, though, Pavel Dorofeev, as I thought it might be. Those goals coming up big for him. Stenberg does take the Calder. Bowen Byram for the Norris. I think it's probably Makar, but he's won a couple. Like, Drysdale would be wonderful. Byram, though, would be really satisfying. It is. All hail Kale. Cross your fingers. This is the one I kind of don't expect and really want, because we never really get this one. But Gavin Brindley for the Selke. It's Ryan McLeod, sadly. Oh. Yeah, okay. Nabokov takes goalie. We're the best executive, and Bedsy is the best coach. Kind of expected that trio. Yeah, Brindley and the Selke would have been just... Oh, would have been just fantastic, wouldn't it? But there we are. Highly successful season, highly decorated team. 5 cups now. Absolutely amazing. And yeah, who is ready to get called? I mean, Grady. He's just had that monster season. He's just won it all. 109 points with the Erie Otters. Memorial Cup champion. He's ready to get called up. Parsons might be ready to get called up for the AHL. Same with Florentine Boulard, who's really developed this season. Some of the others maybe not so much. Janek and Boost, though, still 4.5 stars. I think Boost went up to 5 stars. He's fallen off a little bit. This is now probably very accurate to what we actually think they are. Rukos, 3.5. Both 3. But Yannick, 4.5 in goal. Modia, 3.5 right defenseman. We've got 4 3-stars with Dale, Parsons, Boulard on the right, and Ryan Grady as well. I think Riley is a great player. I don't know if he really can play wing. He's going to have to go down the center, which means Allard might be out. And I'm not really sure who else can go out on the wing or should go out on the wing. It's very difficult to see now with all these youngsters coming through up front. But yeah, it's just good. Similar kind of seasons. Couple of people taking steps forward. O'Day actually takes a big step forward. Both barely played. Don't love that. Janek played, didn't do too badly, didn't do great. I know it's a second division in Chechnya, but Okos looks really good there. Yeah, we'll kind of see if anybody's worth bringing up. Apart from Riley. But Riley's a no-brainer. You come in as depth, you can come in as depth. Y'all can come in as depth. Pretty sure a lot of these be sent back down to juniors or whatever. Anyway, we do have room on contracts. I am also probably going to trade out about 6 or 7 players so I can actually bring all these in and clear the room for the draft picks that we're going to make. I think that's key. In the season, we win it all. We get a ton of points to spend. Gonna get everything up to at least 7. We got 15s, 20s over this side, and I'm gonna start trying to get everything up to 20. But yeah, the GM stuff is easier to do. I think dumping self-preservation right now. Right, that's all good. Car is day to day. Everybody can come back. Gosakic 5 seasons, 69,000 a year. 2.6 for 5 seasons. I think he was on a little bit less than that. That is fine. Yeah, so at the end of the season as well, I do like just to go ahead and bring up everybody. The ones that are in junior hockey are usually brought up anyway at the end of the year. So like Modi and whoever else, they will get called up. This gives me a good look at my entire team so I can evaluate my organization going into next season. Grama can come off the injury list for right now. That'll be everybody called up. What did Seattle finish? Because we know the Devils didn't do much, right? Devils didn't do it. We know the Devils are really good. I meant to say, and they're not going to be a high pick. Seattle did finish 5th. Forgot that was the case. Yeah, this is our lineup in that case. So work our way back down. Right wing then. So Natchez, Brindley, Hemming and Haig, I think. There's a lot of questions on those two. They're both 24. We got 4 and 5 years of 3.5 to 3.86 on them. There's no reason to get rid of them. I like Strammel, but I don't think we need to call him up. Gogwin wants to play, but isn't showing me that they can. Boulard is still very young. Marsh is young. And nobody I feel out of this bottom 4 is really pushing enough for me to clear a space in Hemming and Haig on those contracts. On the left wing, Bayer did pretty damn well in the ECHL, to be honest with you. Good season of the Grizzlies for him. Martin wasn't bad in the AHL. I mean, Cargelati was solid. He seems to be stepping up and proving himself. And Schwanda, not great initial campaign, but 20 points and a ton of potential. Kapakako did okay, holds his spot. Mijatovic broke out and Dorofeyev was amazing. So I feel solid there with Kaljahati maybe wanting to come up, right? I would say I would say right now Gogwin goes back down. Carry those 4 on the right, these 5 on the left. And I'm just checking face-offs. Nobody can take face-offs. In the center, I think Allard goes down. Means he's probably traded. You go back out to Sudbury. Go down, and then we got 6 centers. There's definitely space here for somebody, right? They all take good face-offs apart from McKinnon. Somebody ain't making it. Somebody ain't making it. Hemming and Haig. Kapokako. I think it's one of those 3. Hemming, Haig, Kako. One of those 3 does not make it. If it's someone on this side, then someone here maybe switches. The other dumb thing that I might be tempted to do was let Sundstrom lead that young centre core and push McKinnon to end his career on the right wing. Kind of where he started for the Avs. Maybe. Maybe. Again, Lebret, Kreuzbergs, they've had a few minutes. They're not ready. Medea and Thomas aren't ready. Anderson, Curtis, Simon. Wagner and Hayden's a big conversation. The big conversation. I went for Wagner and he did well. Don't feel like Byram or Ball need replacing. I guess one of those two. 100%. Janak. Bath. Wolf. I think that's our 25. Wagner or Hayden, and then Kapakako or Hemming or Haig. I feel that's maybe where we're at going into next season. I feel that's kind of where we're at going into next season. So yeah, that's it. The season processing. It does take a while. It does sort of freeze up on the screen. You will see this just inch a tiny bit forward every 30 seconds to 2 minutes. It kind of varies. But yeah, I don't know who's available in free agency. I don't know if we need to make a move. There we go. See, it just ticked forward a couple of bits. That's how we know we're not like in trouble. But yeah, leave down below any suggestions. Let me know what you think. But this is a monster season. But we do have some question marks with another couple of youngsters coming through. After 2 seasons where we've had a couple of youngsters come through and make an impact in back-to-back years, I feel like they deserve a shot at making it 3 in a row. So, as always, let me know. Comment section down below. Gonna love you and leave you. Take care, stay safe. All the very best to each and every one of you. Check out the other playlists on the channel. Apologies for the lack of uploads, but as I say, I've got like 20 videos ready to go. Just the past 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks have been kind of very tricky with YouTube for some reason. And so we're trying to figure out a way forward. Hopefully they'll all go up soon, and we'll see. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe for the algorithm. And we go again. I think this might be Nathan McKinnon's last season with us. The succession looks very good right now. Can we get him another trophy and send him off very, very happy? Maybe Nature's, if someone else on the right side does come through, Brindley might be that guy. But, like, maybe those two get traded away, and then we're looking at Cale McCall as the next man up to kind of win another trophy or two before having to say goodbye to him. So, yeah, absolutely love that for us. I think it's all good for right now. And now we get to send down. Parsons got called back up. Yeah, weigh in on those battles. Wagner, Hayden, and then Kako, Hemming, Hag. Don't know. Possibly multiple. Jack Hughes went to free agency, huh? Looking for 15. Matthew Chuck would want a 5x3. I feel like he should ask for a lot more than that. 9x6 for Volstead, Gensel. 6x1. Norris, 6x3. 5x3 for Jack McBain. Yeah. Folius 2.6. Like, surely he gets his deal, right? We won't get him. And Keaton Verhoff. Like, there's no way that the Flames don't give him that deal either. I just don't see it. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave things. I'm going to go away, put in some bids, take a look at players and figure out where we're at, what we might want to do. But like I say, these are kind of the top names. And yeah, why these players didn't get deals and were allowed to go to free agency unrestricted, I don't know. Matthew Tkachuk, Jack Hughes, Jake Gensel. It's a good line. Gensel's old, sure, but like that, you know, Volstead, Hughes, Tkachuk shouldn't probably be there. They really just shouldn't probably be there. And restricted, probably getting matched offers, Budless, Verov, Igor Bjork. I mean, oh, we got options, boys. We got options. I'll see you for the start of the next one. Epic episode. Could really split the playoffs into their own thing, but I don't like doing that for some reason. But yeah, I'll see you very soon for start of season 6, I guess. I'm trying to fully establish our dynasty.